Wonderhussy here, barreling through the Mexican desert, about halfway between Tijuana and Mexicali, headed for the border to cross back over into the good old US of A. After 10 days of exploring the Baja, California outback. That's right, this is the last day of my 10-day Baja, California adventure. My two travel companions left early this morning, and I figured I could just make the rest of the journey from here myself since it's pretty straightforward. And I figure it'll give me a chance to just sort of poke along and do a trip recap. Since when I'm following my travel companions, I can't even think because, golly, they drive really, really, really fast. Anyway, after spending all day driving and frankly hauling ass all the way down to Santispac Beach in Baja, California Sur. Well, that was the southernmost point on our itinerary. So from there, well, we had the whole rest of the trip to just sort of poke our way along back north to the border. And let me tell you something. That was an interesting drive. We passed through so much amazingly beautiful desert scenery. I mean, this whole peninsula is basically one big desert. But we also passed through all these funky little towns, like really cool old colonial towns. But really, the deserts were my favorite part. I mean, they were full of the most astonishing Dr. Seuss-like desert plants. Absolutely spectacular. And I will definitely be back down here to do some more exploring and check out them plants and cactus up close. And of course, we also passed through many military checkpoints. I guess they have these security checkpoints at random intervals along the highways down in Baja, California, where they just kind of ask you, where are you going? Where are you coming from? And then I guess depending on their mood, they'll go through your car and kind of like rifle through your stuff, look through your cooler, lift up your pillows and look under your pillows in your bed. I felt slightly violating, but I mean, the guys doing it half the time were, golly, just basically teenagers. I mean, sometimes even still with braces on their teeth, toting M16s and wearing military gear and, well, poking through my bedclothes. What are you gonna do, man? It's their country, and I guess they're just trying to keep it safe so that gringos like me can roll around blah, blah, blahing to themselves. Anyway, the military checkpoints were really just a minor inconvenience. Obviously, I didn't bring anything down here that I have to be concerned about, although they did question me on this can of pepper spray that I have in my door pocket for safety. They thought it was funny, actually. But the checkpoints never took that long. The searches were frankly pretty cursory. Not a huge deal and nothing to be afraid of. And I guess it made me feel safer being down here. I mean, I'll be honest, I felt really safe the entire time I was down here. And not just because I was traveling with two guys. I mean, a lot of times the guys were way ahead of me. It just, I don't know, it feels very safe down here. Pretty much just like you're in far southern California, to be honest. I think all those stories you hear about the cartels and all that is over in the mainland. So, although I would love to travel around mainland Mexico, I don't know if I have the cojones to do that right now. But Baja, California, in my experience anyways, felt pretty safe. Anyway, each night we would camp at a different beach. I mean, there's so many beaches here where you can just roll up, park right on the sand, have a little campfire. Generally, there's like palapa huts, like those little straw huts that you rent for, it was like usually between 10 and 20 bucks a night. Although when we were in Puertecitos, the hot springs town, they kind of gouged us there with like $28 per person for just one night. And all you really get at any of these places is you get a palapa hut. Some of them had kind of tables and chairs. Some of them had little barbecue grills, but for the most part it was just a palapa hut and then access to a bathroom. And the condition of these toilets varied from, I mean, some of them were really nice. Like, we stayed at this place called Campo Archelon in the Bahia de Los Angeles, Bay of Los Angeles. And that place was really nice. It had hot showers, really nice ones, and Wi-Fi and a cafe. And I think it was only 10 bucks a night per person. So I would definitely stay there again. Some of the bathrooms were, frankly, terrifying. In fact, I'd say most of the bathrooms were, well, kind of on the scary side, but fortunately for me, I've been to enough outhouses to where a little thing like that don't bother me much, and it was just fine. Anyway, we did cross over to the Pacific coast one night on the trip because we wanted to go whale watching. There's this bay over by a town called Guerrero Negro, where these big gray whales come in to give birth, and they're real friendly. They'll come right up to your boat. The mama whales bring the baby whales right up to your boat, and you can reach into the water and pet them. Unfortunately, no whales came close enough to our boat for me to reach out and touch them. I tried, but they came real close, man, really close. It was neat, but it was also kind of scary because, gosh, I just saw that video where those kayakers got flipped over by a whale, didn't they? Somewhere near San Luis Obispo. I don't know, but I mean, it's really something to be in a little speedboat, basically, flat bottom boat, and see a giant gray whale swim right underneath you, maybe just like a foot under the water. Like, really, really surreal experience. And so we did camp at that beach. It was called Ojo de Liebre. That beach was cool, but it was real foggy and cold and dank, totally the opposite from the Sea of Cortez side. But it was kind of cool because it was a nice break from all the sunshine and, yellow sandy beaches. Oh gosh, a person gets tired of paradise like that. So it was kind of fun to go be in this dank, cold, foggy, well, it reminded me a lot of when I went to Namibia and I camped on the Skeleton Coast. A lot of similarities in the environment. But other than that one night, yep, it was pretty much just Margaritaville day in and day out. Anyway, last night was our last night of the trip, and we actually went inland into the mountains, which is where I'm coming from. Might be able to see over there, beautiful mountain range. Oh look, cows. Hi, failers. Whoopsie. Anyway, beautiful mountain range with a little tropical oasis and a bunch of hot springs. That's right. Beautiful hot spring resort, and that video, well, I made a whole separate video about that, so you can check that out if you're interested. But that was our last night of the trip, and now I'm headed back to USA. And to be honest, I'm glad. I had a great time, but 10 days was enough for me for now, considering what supplies I brought with me. But in the future, I definitely want to come back and do a longer expedition. I mean, God, I saw so many rigs on the road down here, like big sprinter vans or vans outfitted, all the overland gear, looking like they're about to go down for a month or longer. Well, that's what I want to do. If I brought enough supplies, I'd love to travel all the way down to the southern tip of Baja California, Cabo San Lucas, and take a month to do it. Because even though, we had 10 days and we rushed to get down south and then kind of poked our way back north, I still felt a little bit rushed, and there was so much stuff that we didn't get to see. So I will definitely be back, and next time it'll be a longer trip. Now, logistically speaking, it's actually pretty easy to travel around Baja California. Apparently there didn't used to be a paved highway all the way down south on the eastern side, but there is now, and it was a pretty good highway. I mean, yeah, there were some sections that had potholes, but for the most part it was good roads. Narrow. They really didn't spend any more than they had to paving these lanes. There's not really much shoulder to speak of, and so when big rigs are coming at you, it can be a little hairy, but as long as you keep to the speed limit, it's fine. Easy roads, gas stations at reasonable intervals, although I suppose my view on that is kind of skewed because I'm from Nevada, and well, Nevada, it could be a couple hundred miles between gas stations. Well, down here, it was about the same. I mean, if you were smart about it and gassed up when you got the chance, you'd be fine. Most of the gas stations do take credit cards, so you can just pay electronically. There were one or two that we went to that only took cash, so you would want to make sure you brought plenty of cash. But hey, US dollars seem to be just fine down here. I don't even think you need to change any money. It seemed like every place we went accepted dollars. Oh, and bathrooms. I mean, if you're squeamish and don't want to just pull over to the side of the road and pop a squat, just about every gas station had bathrooms, and they were, for the most part, pretty decent. I mean, not as bad as some of the ones at the campgrounds. And now, finally, about everyone's favorite thing, the food. You know how you hear about, you go down to Baja, California, and eat nothing but fish tacos, and everything's so cheap and fresh and delicious? Well, that might be the case. I feel like we kind of mostly stuck to fairly touristy spots, so maybe we paid a little bit more than you would if you were going to like real hole-in-the-wall shacks. But then again, I never got sick, and not only did I eat lettuce and uncooked vegetables, I also drank plenty of drinks with ice in it, and it was fine, man. I didn't get sick. So all that being said, the food wasn't as cheap as I was led to believe. It was cheaper than the US. I would say I spent $8 to $10 a meal for like an order of tacos, like 3 tacos, rice and beans, or tostadas or whatever it was I got. To be honest, the best food I had was at this place called Taco Factory in San Felipe, and it was super touristy. There's no two ways around it. Very touristy place, but oh my god, it was the best food. I had ceviche and tacos and chips and guacamole, and oh my god, I want to turn around and go back. Just thinking about it, it was so good. And it was pretty cheap. I think I probably paid like, I had a big old mango margarita with it, and it was probably like $15. So yeah, cheaper than the US for sure. Anyway, I didn't realize how much cash I was gonna need down here. I just sort of figured I'd be able to use my card for more stuff. So I did have to go to an ATM down in Mulegé, a little tiny town down by Santispac Beach. And I withdrew, oh gosh, I'm so bad with the conversion. I withdrew some money down there, and it was enough to get me through the rest of the trip. In fact, I calculated it out so perfectly that I think I'm only going to end up with about 100 pesos left at the end of it, which is about $5. And that's even after accounting for this toll I'm about to pay. That's right, there are certain roads that you have to pay tolls on, up north anyways. I'm just about done with this desert dirt road. I'm about to get back on the paved road and head east to Mexicali to cross the border. And there is an 86 peso toll, I think, to use that highway. Well, I had to pay it coming here. I'm assuming I'll have to pay it going back. I'm actually not sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to drive to Mexicali. And then there's 2 border crossings. There's the traditional old Mexicali border crossing, and then they built a new one a little bit farther east, I guess to alleviate the traffic. I don't know which one I'll cross at. I'll figure it out when I get there, but in the meantime, I think I better pull over while I have the chance, and I'm still out here in the desert, to take a little tinkle, because golly, I have a feeling I might be in line at the border for quite some time, and I really don't want to have to pee in a bottle. Oh gosh, yeah, I can actually see the highway up ahead. Time to pull over while I can. So much better. Okay, well, I am gonna have to stop yakking on my phone for a while now, because I'll be driving on a highway and in town, and it's really not safe to be, well, it's not safe to be using a cell phone to begin with, and it's certainly not safe to be vlogging while you're driving around Mexico, if you know what I mean. But I have a feeling I'll be, well, like I said, stuck at the border for a while, so I'll catch up with you then. Oh man, the air quality here is so gnarly. For once in my life, I'm happy to wear a mask. Look, Burger King. 2 Whoppers for 29 pesos. What a deal. Well, we're getting close to the border, because there's the wall. The famous wall. Well, I guess this is where I get stuck in traffic. And the irony is I still don't have cell signal, weirdly. I mean, I'm like, well, I'm right on the other side of the friggin' border. There's the US right there. So how does that work with the Verizon signal? I mean, you think the cell tower would broadcast just as well. It's not like there's some imaginary sky wall. Anyway, Google says I have 2.3 kilometers to the border. 2.3 kilometers and I'll be home, sweet home. Woo! Can't wait, because guess what? I already have to take a tinkle again. And man, I really need more coffee. I only drank 1 cup this morning at the hot spring, because I knew I'd probably get stuck waiting in my car here, and I didn't want to, well, you know, piss in a bottle. So my plan is, as soon as I get across this dang border, I think there's a Starbucks in Calexico. That's right, the town on this side of the border is called Mexicali, and on the US side it's called Calexico. How about that? Anyway, there are Starbucks over here, so I probably could have used actually the rest of my pesos to buy a coffee here, but, well, by gum, then I'd still have that problem of having to pee while I'm sitting in line. So I'm gonna wait till I get to the US side. I never did cash in the rest of my pesos. I didn't have to pay another toll, so I have about 180, 190 pesos left, which is almost 10 bucks. Dang it, guess I'll have to save them for that next trip. The last kilometer is the longest. Man, I do have to take a tinkle, but it's pretty interesting sitting here just looking at all these, well, there's all these people coming along like trying to collect for charities, you know, to take all your extra pesos. But I don't know, I haven't given my leftover pesos to anyone because I don't know if it's like legit or a scam or what. But I do think it's really cool how these like enterprising Mexicans set up these little stands because they know people are going to be stuck in their cars waiting. So they sell Fritos and drinks and stuff. Coca-Cola. I don't know, man. I'm holding out for Starbucks. I need more coffee. 1.2 kilometers to go. Look, there's a pharmacy. Right on the border. Conveniently located so you can grab all your last minute Viagra for cheap. Okay, I'm in the final stretch. Well, I felt bad. There was a guy with one leg that was selling all kinds of stuff, so I did buy some of them crunchy peanuts I like. I gave him 10 pesos, which is like 50 cents. Now that I think about it, that's less than I would pay for that in the US. Poor guy. I should have given him more. Anyway, I probably shouldn't be talking on my cell phone because there's a lot of policia around here. Crawling along, still on the Mexican side of the border. Just ahead, I'll enter the US zone. And I'm curious to see if it's going to be like in The Wizard of Oz, like going from black and white to color. Oh! Well, unfortunately, I ended up going across the new border crossing in Mexicali 2, the eastern one. So it doesn't go through Calexico, and there's no Starbucks anywhere, oh gosh, anywhere on my route for like another hour or so. So I might have to stop at a gas station and get a gas station coffee. But on the plus side, I finally got enough signal to look up directions to my house, and it says 5.5 hours, 495 kilometers, whatever that is in miles. And, well, it's 9:45 now. Depending how long it takes me to get across the dang border, I should be home, yeah, mid-afternoon. Okay, I don't see any signs saying that I can't shoot video here, so I'm just going to keep shooting. It's really interesting. There's 4 different lanes. I guess that one on the left, Sentry, is like a quick pass. Or if you have that passport card, maybe? I don't know, but nobody's in it. Everybody else is stuck over here. But this is kind of interesting because we're actually going to cross right through the wall, okay? Remember we saw the wall earlier? Well, there it is. It stops so that the cars can go through, and then it picks up again on the other side. And we're about to drive right through it. Unfortunately, the other side is not more vibrant Technicolor than this side, like the Wizard of Oz. In fact, the other side looks pretty much like this side. Only fewer legless vendors. Oh man, I think I'm in the wrong lane. I don't know, I didn't see an option to get over there to, I'm in this ready lane. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have a pass to be here. But there's these freaking concrete barriers, so I can't just cross over to where I'm supposed to be with all traffic. Oh gosh. Hopefully they don't make me go all the way back. Okay, well, she let me go through that lane and she didn't yell at me or anything. I did have to sacrifice 2 apples that I bought in the US anyways, and I probably shouldn't have even said anything about them because she wouldn't have known. Because I also have a lime in here that I didn't tell her about. Anyway, whatever. 2 apples down and I'm back in the USA! And look at that. Just like that, my signal went to 5G. I don't know where I am right now. If this is Mexico or US or just some kind of weird in between land, but I can see on this sign right up ahead here that I'll be in California any second. Here we go. Ready? This is the point where it's gonna all turn into Technicolor. Or maybe not. Yay! Technicolor or not, and it is kind of a gray humdrum day, I made it. And there's a gas station right here. Ironically enough, it's the one we stopped at on our way over. And I'm gonna get me the biggest cup of coffee you ever did see right after I hit the head. Yay! I made it! And I got the best, most delicious cup of gas station coffee that I've ever had. Tastes like America.